Okay, I'm going to share my screen and then we can watch this nice little video.
Obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, or as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain, to dispel the misery of the world.
Isn't that beautiful? So this is a short version of a very famous prayer by Master Shantideva. And yeah, Shantideva lived, again, I think about 1,000, what did they say, 1,200 years ago, somewhere around there, and was considered to be an enlightened being. And I love the name Shantideva. Shanti means God. I mean, peace. Let me try and admit Kerry again. Shanti means peace. So when you say Om Shanti, 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 it means peace, peace, peace. And Deva means divine, like a god, okay? So the name Shantideva means the god of peace. Ah, there's Kerry. She made it. Shame. With a new phone. Okay. So we are exploring the Bodhisattva prayer. And at the end of the prayer, it says, until, let's just look at that again. I'm just going to share it again. Because that's really quite a profound part of the prayer, is this last little bit. Let's just check there.
May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, or as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain, to dispel the misery of the world.
it's that line. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Good morning, Steve. Welcome. So this is such a powerful verse, and it's the Dalai Lama's sort of favorite verse, the last verse. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Basically, what makes me very excited about Buddhism is when I look at other sort of religious traditions, it's like, please God bless me, give me what I want, make me happy, fill me with your loving blessings. And I don't see too much about, the motivation for others as much as I see in Buddhism. Now, that's quite a big thing to say. You're basically saying, as a bodhisattva or a spiritual warrior, I will stay in samsara until all beings are liberated. Why would you want to do that? Okay. Surely it would be so cool if we could go to nirvana or heaven and not have to deal with any of this shit again and again and again, like a tight chest. So there's more to it than meets the eye in terms of this prayer. All right. It's a bit of a paradoxical prayer in a way, or maybe that's not the right word. The motivation to save all beings, okay, is the highest motivation that one can have. I guess somebody like Jesus would have, obviously a bodhisattva, a Buddha, wanting to serve and save all beings. We've had lots of amazing leaders, some politicians with very similar motivations. Some people, give up their time, their money, their energy, and get nothing back in reward for trying to be of benefit to others, So these are actions of bodhisattvas, and bodhisattva means a spiritual warrior. Now, the prayer, I will carry all the burden, whatever it takes, so that others can be happy. Okay? That's an amazing motivation. So why would we want to do that? It sounds like hard work, right? It sounds tough. The Buddha told us a story in the Jataka Tales. The Jataka Tales are stories of the Buddha's previous lives. And there's obviously, when the Buddha attained enlightenment, he could remember all of his previous lives. But there are certain lives that he decided to talk about. All right. And one of those lives, he was in hell, and he was carrying a wagon, and he was being whipped from behind, and his friend was struggling next to him. So his motivation was, I will carry my friend's load as well, okay, in that hell place, because he felt a moment of compassion. It is said that immediately, when the Buddha died in that day, because in hell you sort of die every day and then you're reborn again in that situation. When he died that day, he was reborn into a higher realm, okay, into a human realm, just because he had the motivation of wanting to carry the load of his fellow hell being that was struggling. Okay, so, and it's the same if you remember Geshe Chikawa's story of wanting to go to hell when he died and saying, no, these angels are taking me to paradise, and then he dies, right? So the motivation itself to be of benefit to all beings is the highest karmic virtue. And it will enable us to reach enlightenment quickly. Now, somebody like the Dalai Lama is a bodhisattva, okay? The Karmapa. There are many, many teachers in this world that have chosen to come back Whereas in Buddhism, generally, we don't choose to come back. Our karma forces us to come back. But they choose. They can choose. They can say, I'd rather just hang out in nirvana, or let me come back. I think people need me. So I don't know, maybe one of you is a bodhisattva and you had the ability to choose to come back as well, to be of benefit to all beings. You know, that nobody knows who is a bodhisattva. Just because you've got a big title and you're a Tibetan or you're a teacher or whatever, doesn't mean that you are. So anybody could be a bodhisattva, and anybody could have said that they wanted to come back to this realm of suffering to be of benefit to others. The thing is, when you reach a level of being a bodhisattva, you are in a state of liberation. Even though your physical body is here, your awareness, your mind is in a state of absolute liberation. So there's no suffering for you. You know, it appears that the Dalai Lama is suffering. It appears that the Karmapa gets flu or whatever. But from their side, they are not suffering. It's just our karma for us to see them as suffering and for them to get old, get sick, and die, if that makes any sense. Are there any questions or comments on this? Apologies for the coughing. So I thought maybe what we could do is also unpack a little bit more about who Shantideva was. So Shantideva, his name in the monastery at that time was called Busaku. And Busaku means three thoughts. Okay? The word Busaku means three thoughts: eating, sleeping, and pooping. That was his name. Okay? Mr. Eat, Sleep, and Poop. And all the monks ridiculed Shantideva because they said he didn't come out of his room, he was lazy, and he didn't do anything. He didn't join the other monks. He didn't contribute. He just stayed in his room. And he, you know, that's why they called him Mr. Eat, Sleep, and Poop, Busaku. And then Shantideva had to do his oral examination. Okay, so all the monks were laughing. Busaku, you know, what's he going to do? He's such a loser. Like, this is going to be a fat joke. And on the day, now the monastics have to climb up onto a throne, and from that throne they teach the audience. And Busaku it was his day, Shantideva, it was his day, and they built up his throne so high that it would be impossible for him to climb up on it as a joke, you know, to have a laugh, to be mean. And all of a sudden, as he walked in, he just lifted into the air and landed on top of the throne. And everybody went, what? So he began to start teaching, and everybody was listening, and they'd never heard these teachings before. It was next level profound. And the monks were feeling shameful because they realized that this person was a very high level bodhisattva. In fact, while Shantideva was in his room, he was being taught by the angel Manjushri directly, you know, straight from like the Buddha realms. So Shantideva began to teach, and he was teaching the whole day, and everybody was taking notes and writing down furiously because they were just amazed at the level of his teaching. And then it said in the 9th chapter, he started to float in the sky. And the monks were trying to like stop him because he was slowly moving out the window. And they saw him in the sky, and they were running outside trying to chase after him. And he was like floating away, you know, like a balloon. And they couldn't keep up with him. I mean, this is in the text, right? They say in those days people could fly. Well, if you have the karma for it, you can. So eventually they found him. After months of looking, they found him in a cave, and they were like, Shantideva, we're so sorry. We're so sorry we treated you so badly, and please come back to the monastery. And if you want, you can be the head of the monastery, you can be the abbot, whatever you want. Just please come back. And Shantideva was like, nah, I'm tired of that place. I'm happy on my own. But they said, but you didn't finish teaching. You didn't finish you flew away. We needed to get closure on your teaching. And he said, okay, fine. If you look in my room, in the ceiling, in the rafters, you'll find the 9th chapter. I left it for you there. Okay, so the 9th chapter is all about dedication. Dedicating your karma, dedicating your goodness, your good merits. Okay. Does anybody have a practice of dedication going on? Yeah, Kiggs? When do you dedicate? Sorry,
I'm using my new phone. I'm useless so far. So I have been doing the yoga practice, and I dedicate before I do it, maybe for something specific, and then afterwards I dedicate for all beings. Yeah.
That's awesome. Nice. Anybody else have a dedication practice? Okay, it's time to get your dedication practice going. So, Geshe Michael says, if you dedicate your good deed, let's say you get into the habit of, keeping a book, keeping a journal. Now, this is why keeping a journal is so powerful, because let's say you're keeping track of your goodness, you're keeping track of your good deeds, you're actually celebrating your wins. It's actually if you read a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, he says it's vital to celebrate your wins, to track them, to write them down, say, I'm so happy I did this, I went for a run, I did a yoga class, how cool is that? And you write it down. So yes, I will certainly, Antoinette. So you write down your goodness. You keep a track of your good deeds. You keep a track of your good thoughts, your good words, your practices that you do. Maybe you do a sound journey, or you do some work on yourself, or you help somebody else with their stuff. And then once you finish that deed, even if it's giving someone, I don't know, 5 Rand at the petrol station, okay? Get into the habit of dedicating the goodness of that, all right? Because it is also said that a moment of extreme anger can wipe out eons of goodness, of good karma, all right? So if you dedicate your karma, that karma is protected. It is they say it's in the karmic bank account. All right, nothing can touch it. And it's so powerful because that dedication, it kind of goes like this. Okay, this is the dedication. May I become an enlightened being and reach my highest bliss. So for the benefit of all beings. Okay? It's pretty simple. May I reach my highest bliss so that I can help all beings reach theirs. Whatever shape or form you want to say it, it's really about you getting your cake and eating it and then sharing it with others, right? Okay. So whatever massive spiritual attainments you get, you will then use that to help others. And that's why the prayer, until space endures, until sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. I mean, that is the most incredible dedication prayer right there. And what I'll do is I'll send the YouTube link for this Shantideva prayer in the WhatsApp group so you can watch it again. That is a brilliant dedication. So that's pretty much what it is. May I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. That's it. Okay? That's it. All right. Any other questions or comments around that? Antoinette?
Mark, it's probably, I want to ask you this, and it's probably quite a personal question for you, but moving to your mom's and helping her would be a dedication, right?
Oh, every day would be a massive dedication. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like giving up your, yeah, it's so funny when you were speaking about it, this whole thing already landed in my being, so it's like we got to just stop ourselves from going into the head all the time about why you're doing what you're doing. Like, I'm motivating doing this because then I'm going to go into my bliss and I'll it's not about that. It's about following the threads and almost seeing what you're doing after you've done it.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to say, well, if this is what I'm going to do for my mom, then I'm going to benefit. I'm happy to say that. I'm going to benefit and I'm going to serve all beings from that. So we can't drop the last part. And I'm going to help everybody from that goodness, from that cool bank account of karma that I'm going to make, So then it becomes unconditional. Then it's like, yay, I just got a big chocolate cake. Oh God, I got to give it away. But I can still keep a piece for myself, I mean, where do chocolate cakes come from? From giving them away, right? Where do donuts come from? From giving them away. Where does kombucha or, I don't know, come from? From looking after others, right? So, yeah, it's absolutely, Antoinette. So every day I must remember that is because a parent is a very high karmic object. A parent, a teacher, someone in great need, which is what my mom is. So there's a double whammy right there. Yeah, it's going to be tough. And my life will change because, can't have wild parties when mom's in the house, right? So not that I have wild parties, but I can imagine. I can fantasize.
And you can always take a day or two off anyway.
Absolutely. And my son will be down the road.
Definitely.
For sure. So, then is it a pain in the ass to look after mom? Yes, it is a pain in the ass. Nobody wants to look after a sick parent, really, But then if you think of it from a karmic point of view, you go, yes, this is great. I have a great opportunity to get out of samsara for the benefit of all beings by looking after mom. Then your life becomes meaningful and purposeful. What the Japanese called ikigai, finding your ikigai, your purpose, your meaning. And your purpose could be just to look after someone, and give them a bit of comfort. And in that, you will find your bliss and your happiness. Okay, it might not be fun. It might be hard work. And then there's, we spoke about the 6 perfections. The perfection of giving. The perfection of kindness, the perfection of patience, the perfection of joyous effort, the perfection of meditation, the perfection of wisdom. Those are the 6 perfections that bodhisattvas practice. So the perfection of giving is to give unconditionally with no reward. Okay? And to realize there's no receiver, there's no giver, and there's no action. That is the perfection of giving. Same with the perfection of kindness. Same with the perfection of patience, to realize the emptiness of patience. Okay? That if I get angry, I am going to cause more anger for myself in the future. That is the perfection of patience, to understand patience, but with the element of karma. Then there's joyful efforts, right? I understand that I am practicing my yoga, my meditation, looking after mom, and it's not easy, but there's joy in the effort. And by doing that, more joy will come. I'll give you an example. I've got a friend, his name is Andreas Bottner, also a German guy, and he's like the most amazing yogi I've ever seen. He's had a double hip replacement from, I think it's genetics, but Ashtanga yogi, like just, he's like, he embodies yoga, he really is. He's still doing yoga even after all his surgery. And when he does yoga, he loves it. He feels so much joy in moving his body. Okay. I don't. I just feel pain and discomfort, and I don't like it, But Andreas, he's been doing it for so long that it's joyful efforts. It's like it brings him so much joy. Sometimes in meditation, you can sit in meditation and feel that it's a war zone going on. It's terrible to sit in meditation. Why would you do that? It's so boring, so difficult. But if you do it for consistently, you find the joy in the practice. Okay, so joyful effort is to take on some hardship, to take on something you don't really want to do for the benefit of others and yourself, and then dedicate the good karma. Okay? So try and make a habit of dedicating everything. All right? You also link what we call rejoicing and dedication together. So you can sit on the couch. My teacher says it's the coffee meditation, and you want to maximize your karma. You sit on the couch and you think about all the good things you've done in your life, and you feel happy about them, and then you dedicate. So you first rejoice, and then you dedicate. Okay? Easy. And you can do it every day. You can think of the same stuff every day. And every time you think of all those good things, you're replanting your karma. You are re-energizing those karmic seeds. And it's the easiest way to get your ass out of samsara. It really is. You can sit on the couch. You don't even have to sit in a lotus position. You just make yourself a cup of coffee and do it. It'll take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it's powerful, in terms of removing obstacles and opening you up for a better life. So, I wanted to show you more of Shantideva's work, if there aren't any other comments or questions. The dreaded lurgy. Okay. So here we go. Here's a few verses that I thought were really cool. And you can stop me at any time. And if you've got a question about them, let me see if I can just share this as portion of my screen. Rather. Okay. There we go. Can you all see? All right. So this is the 9th chapter from Master Shantideva. This is what he was teaching on when he started to fly out of the monastery. And by this power, may the blind open their eyes and see the beauty. May the deaf hear the song of sound. May every woman with child give birth, as Maya, the Buddha's angel mother, did him without a hint of pain. May those without sufficient clothing be suddenly clothed. May the hungry be instantly filled with food. May those who suffer now from thirst drink fine fresh water and other delicious beverages. You see, this is an extended dedication prayer that you could also practice. 20, may every poor person there is find all the money they need. May those who grieve be comforted. May those who've lost hope find hope anew and security that will never leave them. May every single being who's sick within this entire universe be suddenly, totally cured. May every kind of disease ever known to living kind vanish now, forever. May all those in any kind of fear be suddenly freed from it. May those in prison be released. May those downtrodden come to power, all of us living then as family in harmony with each other. May all of those who are on the road to anywhere at all be safe and comfortable, wherever they are now. And may they, without the slightest trouble, find at the end of their journey the thing they left their home to find. May all those who've left dry land to travel in boats or ships accomplish all they've set out to do. May they cross the dangers of the waters and then return safe to their homes in the arms of friends and family. May those who travel a barren waste or mistaken their way, who wander lost, suddenly come upon new companions and find their way easily, free of fatigue, without the slightest danger of things like thieves or wild beasts. May holy angels come and protect all those who live in fear, with nowhere to go, no path to follow, small children, the elderly, those with no one to help them, those who cannot sleep, those who are troubled, and the insane. May they spend every life they still have to live free of every obstacle to spiritual life. May they find firm feelings of faith and wisdom and a perfect capacity for love. May their physical needs be filled. May they lead good lives. May they have all they need to live forever without a moment's pause, as if they possessed the treasure of the magic sky. May they live together without ever quarreling, without ever hurting each other, enjoying instead the freedom to live as they choose to. May every person who is small or shy, who has no confidence, become strong and full of grace. May those who've lived a life of need and suffered from it physically recover in resplendent health. May all who live in a place in society where they're not treated right transform forever to a position ideal. May those who are looked down upon be raised up high, and their arrogant friends be tumbled to the ground. And by this goodness I have done, may every single suffering being give up every single harmful thought or word or deed, taking up always in its stead thoughts and words and deeds of virtue. May these beings never cease to strive to reach the ultimate goal for others. May their hearts be swept away by the stream of loving conduct. May they abandon every sort of dark behavior, remaining in the care of every holy being. Gosh, this is quite long. Let's carry on. Where were we? Yes, may every living soul enjoy a life immeasurably long, living thus forever in a state of constant bliss, so that even the very word death is never heard spoken again. Can you imagine that? Imagine we reach a place of karma where death no longer exists. You know, you pick up the morning newspaper that says, we found the cure for death, okay? Now, on a certain timeline that exists, okay? Definitely. May all the places that exist in every world there is turn instantly into gardens of elegant design, filled with trees that grant you every wish, and may the enlightened ones, along with their daughters and their sons, walk amidst the trees, singing out the sweet song of the Dharma. And in each one of these places, may the very foundation, the earth itself, be transformed from sharp stones and the like into the heavenly ground of lapis lazuli, as smooth as the palm of your hand and soft to walk upon. I think Shantideva is giving us an idea of what a pure land could really look like. You see, transforming rocks into lapis lazuli. I mean, literally alchemy, right? Literally. And like a precious jewel, adorning the same ground, may all the secret worlds that exist and all the goodness in them abide atop these newfound lands, crowded with warrior angels. Wow, what an awesome place to be. And two, may all who live and breathe hear the song of birds the wind in the trees, the light of the sun and the sky itself, singing aloud to them an endless rhapsody of holy teachings. Oh, I would definitely go to that party. And wherever they go, may they always meet the enlightened ones and their children who strive for enlightenment. May they honor these teachers, the lamas, the highest of beings, with endless showers of offerings. May the lords of the sky send down the rains on time, so to bring forth plentiful harvests. That's interesting. He's talking about the lords of the sky, as if there are deities that are responsible for the weather, right? Yeah, so I'm asking, blue sky, please. May all existing governments, may their decisions based on the teachings, and thus may the whole world prosper. May every medicine come to have the power to cure. May the secret words fulfill all hopes. May the minds of gods and spirits of sickness alike be overcome with thoughts of compassion. So here again, Shantideva was alluding to gods and spirits of sickness. Weird stuff, man. Okay? Like a spirit, a sick spirit that comes into you. Okay? Interesting. May no single living being ever again feel a single pain. May they never again feel afraid, never again be hurt by another, never again be unhappy. Wouldn't that be great? May places of spiritual learning thrive, filled with people reading sacred books and singing them out loud as well. May communities of spiritual practitioners live always in harmony, and may they achieve the high goals for which they live together. So I think what Shantideva is doing here is giving us a blueprint, okay, of what you can manifest as a divine realm. Okay? You know, a place that can exist, right? Not some fantasy story. It's not like a wish. It's like a reality that we can make this happen. May all those who have ever taken the vows of a monk come to master the arts of solitude, throwing off every kind of distraction, gradually refining their minds, learning perfect meditation. May nuns forever find support for their physical needs and live lives free of conflict or any outside threat. May every person who's ever become ordained conduct themselves perfectly in their moral code. And may any of those who may have ever broke this code regret what they've done and always work to clean the karma. May they then return to a higher birth and in their new life never see their spiritual discipline fail again. So here is also another little teaching. Remember around purification. If you break a vow or get really angry, like you get full of rage, the kind of rage that wipes out all your good karma. All you need to do is regret that rage and it will be restored. The four powers: regret, refusing to do it again, taking refuge, and remedy, will purify any negative karma, okay? Any obstacle. But you need to practice it. It needs to be practiced. May every sage who lives in this world find the honor due to them and always be offered the food and other needs they request. May they always take care that their hearts are pure, and may they earn a good name that spreads throughout the entire world. May none of these people ever again undergo the pain of the lower realms in strength beyond the strength of God's. May they quickly win the state of a fully enlightened one without the slightest hardship. May every suffering being there is make offerings over and over again to every enlightened being there is, and may the enlightened ones enjoy forever what we have offered them in infinite waves of bliss. Isn't that lovely? Can you imagine your offerings that you make on your altar going out in infinite waves of bliss? May every plan there is in the heart of every bodhisattva to help every living being come true. May everyone get every single thing that the enlightened ones who shelter us have in mind for us to get. May those who follow the lower paths of self-made awakened ones and listeners attain the happiness they seek. And may we, through the kindness of Gentle Voice is the angel Manjushri, okay, that taught Shantideva. Remember in life after life who we are and what we practice, rejecting the worldly way of life again and again until the day we reach the level called intense joy. May we gain the mystic ability to live off even the poorest of food, growing ever more strong and healthy in all our lives. May we win the wealth of learning to live in solitude with nothing more than the barest needs. So here, how could you get excellent health from poor food? It's not in the food, okay? You can eat anything and you'll be well if you have the karma for it, okay? I mean, I used to see people drinking water out of the Ganges in Varanasi. They did samples of that water. They say it's the most polluted water on the planet. But those people can drink it because they believe it's sacred. So how come they don't get sick? How come they don't die? I saw them like doing their ceremony and drinking it. And my guide said, whatever you do, don't drink this water, please. Don't even touch it. But yet they can. So if that's the case, that's alchemy. Even the poorest of food could really sustain you just fine if you have the karma. And when anyone ever longs to see him or ask even the slightest question, may the shroud which covered their eyes be torn away, so that the high protector, Lord Gentle Voice himself, instantly appears. Okay. We are working to achieve the goals of every living things there are in every corner of this universe. And so by this power, may we learn to do every single one of these things that Gentle Voice is able to do. That we can become the angel Manjushri, okay? That we can do every single thing that Gentle Voice can do, Manjushri, all right? Here's another beautiful statement. And may we decide that we will stay to work to clear away the pain of every living being there is until the last day of this universe, until the very last suffering creature is changed. I don't know if that's possible. Is it possible, to ever empty samsara? It seems limitless, it seems endless, but the motivation is the most powerful thing. And here's where it gets tough. May every single pain that is coming to every single being there is ripen now upon me instead. May the great community of bodhisattvas go forth and spread through all the world to work for the happiness of all. Ah, that cat is gorgeous. Oh. Why would we want every single pain in the universe to ripen upon myself? Instead of someone else. It's what Jesus did, isn't it? Dying on the cross for the sake of all our sins. It's what Tonglen is, essentially. I will bear the suffering of all beings and I will destroy it because I can. I watched The Matrix again last night. Really inspiring. My son saw it for the first time and we had a great time. And there was a scene where Morpheus, I think if you haven't seen the movie, you should see it. It's a Buddhist movie actually. There's so much dharma in that movie, in what they say, in the conversations. So the Oracle says to Neo, who's Keanu Reeves, that you will have to choose. Morpheus will be caught, and either he will die or you will give up your life for him. And there's a moment where they've got Morpheus, and Neo says, "I'm gonna go. I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna save him." Okay, and I mean the chances of him surviving where he was going is very minimal. And everyone's saying, "No, you are the one. You are the one. You can't risk your life for Morpheus. Morpheus has been looking for you for forever, and now that he's found you, you can't give up your life for him." And he said, "No, I have to. I have to." And in that, he becomes the one. All right. I mean, it's beautiful. It's like in that he becomes the Buddha, in that sacrifice. And that's brave, right? That's the warrior spirit. The teachings of the enlightened ones are the one medicine that can cure the sickness of living kind. They are the one ultimate source of every form of happiness. And so by this power, may the teachings remain long upon this planet with all the support they require and all the respect they deserve. And lastly, do I bow myself down to the one with a gentle voice, the one who has been kind enough to teach me in the ways of virtue. Thus, last, do I bow myself down to the one who was kind enough to raise me up from childhood. I bow to you, my spiritual guide. Isn't that lovely? Pam?
And Mark, when I read this, and I obviously heard it often before, but it makes me feel I can never achieve that. And even if I try the hardest, and the car overtakes me and I say, hey, you, whatever, and I realize I can get triggered off like this and I'm back to my old habits, and to be like so good, it feels so far away from me. And it's actually a little bit frustrating.
I wouldn't feel frustrated. I'll tell you why. Because our karma will ripen at a certain stage and a window will open, and that window will be the direct perception of emptiness. And you will still be an afflicted being. When Geshe Michael and many other yogis had the direct perception of emptiness, they still were afflicted. They still had days of negative emotions and problems and yet they still were able to have the direct perception of emptiness. Yes, they were keeping their morality well, but they were not perfect. They were not perfect. They just knew dedication, they knew purification, they knew these practices well. So they created a wonderful karma for moments of ripening. Out of the chaos, all of a sudden there'd be a moment of boom, enlightenment. And it's because of those moments that they will quickly, after the direct perception of emptiness, become Buddhas, So once you have that experience, you have 7 lives left where you purify the rest of your karma and then you become a fully enlightened Buddha. So don't expect to be perfect by any means. All you do is just try your best every day. You can say, today I lost it, gave the middle finger, whatever, shouted back, I regret that. I try not to do it tomorrow. I ask the Buddhas to help me. What is my remedy? Okay, purification. And then whatever goodness you've done today, dedicate that to being free of samsara for the benefit of all beings. That's it. In a nutshell, that is the entire Buddhist path. Very, 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 very easy. You can forget everybody else. But that in essence, get really good at doing this. That's why keeping a journal is really powerful. Very powerful practice. And I've been struggling with mine lately, but I really would like to ramp it up. 45 entries a week. That's what I was at. And that really works. Yeah, so don't feel like it's impossible, Pam. It's totally possible. The Buddha said that if you come into the contact with the Dharma, you at a point in all of your lives, like an arrow had been flying through the air, released from an archer, and that arrow is meeting the target. It is about to penetrate the target. That's where you are right now in your spiritual journey. Because the Dharma is very hard to find. Nobody takes it seriously. No one comes to Dharma class. Everybody's consumed with, worldly things. And if you are at this point in your life with spirituality, you are that close. So that for me is a big motivator. And whatever troubles you're going through could be, it's just time to spring clean. You know, it's time to get rid of lifetimes of shit in this life so that you can just, it's spring clean time. That's the way I'm seeing it. Okay. And seeing it in that way gives my life meaning and purpose. It gives me an ikigai. You know, Albert Einstein said you can live your life in two ways. One is though nothing is a miracle, and the other is though everything is a miracle. So you choose. Okay, let's pretend there is no such thing as karma. Let's pretend there is no such thing as Buddhism. Still a lack of way to live, don't you think? In the face of everything. Yeah. But I believe that it works. There's a Buddha in our life, in our time, in our world. 2,500 years ago, not too, well, it's a long time ago, but there's Shantideva, there's all these masters, right, that have lived and are living, that are enlightened. It's not just one Buddha, right? It's not just one man. It's lots of women, lots of people that have become realized. We looked at the Naguma, you know, she was a realized yogini, a Buddha, an enlightened being, right? So they leave us all these wonderful practices for us to do, and that's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. So take the essence and make it your own. I think I must go and rest my voice. So we'll do a dedication. Wonderful class for dedication, yeah. I'll do a nice dedication, the one I normally do. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the highest bliss, which is without suffering. And may they come to rest in the great equanimity, which is free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May the precious and sublime awakened mind arise in those where it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it never cease, but continue to expand forevermore. By the virtues of us attending Dharma class, may we become enlightened for the benefit of all beings. Wonderful. So now you've got some dedication homework to do. Thanks everyone for attending. We'll see you next week.
Thanks,
you.
Mark.
Bye.
Feel better.
Thanks. I will try.
Feel better soon.
Thank you. Cheers, ladies.